Welcome back, Tough Men of Faith.
What's up, RT? How you doing?
Just sitting here reminiscing about, well, I guess not reminiscing, but thinking about the future studio you're going to build us.
Well, we'll see how it goes. You know.
I was just looking up ideas here. So,
Were you?
yeah,
What'd you find? You looking for good chairs?
good chairs.
Nice.
Yeah, good.
I like it.
Yeah, we're going to actually move to a barn, right? Is that
Yeah, I think so.
you're going to have a barn raising?
We're gonna have a barn tearing down next week.
Are you?
So we can start there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my framers might get mad if you try and join
If you try to join what?
them to do the barn raising.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think you speak Dutch, so they
no,
probably won't let you help.
no, but it'll be nice having our own studio.
Yeah,
We're
different
not.
place.
We don't. I mean, we don't do any work. Blake does all the work.
I know.
Um, we try to help tear down and
Yeah, we try and help, but
Put
we
stuff-
usually get smacked on our hands with a ruler and told not to.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
we'll
Think
see. We'll see what the new studio.
we'll see. Yeah,
It'll
I'm
be fun.
excited.
Yeah.
You think we'll be in there by season 8? This is
If
season
season
7.
8 starts in June or July, then yeah. So
That'd be
probably
pretty
not.
close. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thanks to our sponsor,
Yeah. Increase Jesus.
Increase Jesus. Yep, check them out.
Yep.
I just got a big order of shirts from them.
Did you?
Yeah, for some
nice.
others. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they do a great job.
That's awesome.
And then this season 7, we're in that.
Yeah. Well, we got the night out coming up, right?
We do April 25th.
Not right away.
Well,
but
it's you know,
coming.
depending on when you listen to this,
Right.
maybe it's past. But
Yeah.
April 25th, we're back at the farm
Yep.
for one night only.
And then we're doing what are we doing?
So we're looking at a couple things there. One, it's going to be basically like forge your mission.
Yeah.
So looking at developing. 'Cause remember, a few weeks ago
Oh yeah, we're
we
doing like
talked.
a mission statement.
We are, yeah, like
Yeah.
for men to have a mission statement for their life, but trying to make it more personal.
Yep.
So my mission statement looks a little bit different from your mission statement, right? And
Yeah,
so,
probably.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're wired differently,
Right.
And God's uniquely gifted us. So what does that look like leading our families, our church, and our community?
Okay.
What is God calling us to, and like very specific thing that you can put on paper.
Yeah.
So that night we're going to just have a little bit of a workshop to work through something like that.
Okay.
So you can leave there with a mission
We're doing
statement.
what? Food, campfire.
Food, there'll be fire, some
Cool.
other fun stuff. You know,
Okay.
the barn's a pretty cool setting there.
It is.
All the wood off that barn was actually used from our farm there.
Oh really?
Came from it, yeah.
Okay.
So took down trees on our farm, built a barn there.
That's cool.
So it's just a cool setting.
Yep.
Going to have the fire, some food. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then probably like ending the night, maybe even like having guys share, some of the guys share that's willing
Okay.
to kind of share their mission statement.
Yep.
The benefit of that is I think you'll see some brothers coming alongside you. One that can help hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Two,
Like,
that-
oh, that's not exactly right for you.
Right.
Let's rework
Yeah.
that.
the other thing is like your mission statement, like mine. I can't pull it off by myself. I need some brothers to help me.
Right.
But also I should be helping some other brothers pull off their mission statements as well. So you may see some similarities there, some guys you can kind of partner with. So
Nice.
yeah, so I am excited about it.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
I think you can go online now.
Okay.
Toughmenoffaith.org.
Okay.
And go ahead and sign up for it.
Good deal.
There's a small cost, keeping it cheap because we want you to be able to come.
Yep.
But we're going to have some food and some nice resources, some giveaways. It's going to be
Be a
a
good time.
blast. Yeah, yeah.
Good.
I had a publisher reach out to me. It's going to donate some books
Okay.
for that event. That
Cool.
every guy will leave with a book or two that night that they feel passionate about. I read the book. It's a great book. So
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
April 25th.
That'll be
So-
fun.
Yeah, and it's the finality
Finality? Yeah.
of season 7. So
Yeah.
we should be able to talk better with hosting
I
up.
doubt it.
No, it's, yeah.
We don't improve much on these skills.
But it kind of our entire season is going to be wrapped up into that night,
Yeah.
right? So we started like looking at your mission, then we're looking at these things throughout this season, and then that night we're going to like, hey, here's a practical way you can take this away.
Nice. I think my wife listened to one of the last episodes and she said, "So are we doing this this night out for our anniversary?"
Oh, was that your anniversary?
Do what? And she's like, "Oh, our anniversary is the weekend before." It's like, "Oh, well, I guess not."
Yeah. Well, you guys can just camp in the woods that night. The rest of us aren't staying the night that night.
I
but
don't
you
think
guys
it's a
can-
co-ed thing. So she's not.
No,
going.
no, we're not staying the night, but you and
Yeah.
her can just go back on the back 40 and
Right? Camp out.
camp out.
Great.
Tell her that's your anniversary gift.
There
Be a
you go,
cheap
girl.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the other thing on this season we have coming up the next few weeks is so everyone's been listening to you and I the first like 4 or 5, 6
Yeah, I bet
episodes.
they're
this.
probably boring over it.
Well, probably, and we're running out of wisdom to share. But going forward, I think we have a guest
Yeah, we-
almost every episode.
Yeah, we
now.
have some interesting guests coming up.
Yeah.
So
And-
some that we've seen in the past, some new ones.
Yeah, return. We've had guys ask to come back on, which
Yeah.
is surprising. And then
You idiots! You didn't get enough the first time.
what's exciting is these guys are passionate about the topics they're going to talk about.
Yeah, I like that.
So, they kind of handpick these
Yeah,
topics.
it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, so it's good.
Cool.
So today we're episode 4 of this season, looking at like 20 things that we think are important for guys to know.
Yeah.
This one is lead your family like a warrior.
Yep.
This is where you take off and go with it. I mean, think about a warrior, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not a warrior, RT.
Well, I think you are.
Okay.
A warrior protects, a warrior provides,
Yep.
a warrior leads with courage, right? So those are things you would want to see in a warrior, right?
Right.
If someone's called a warrior, you got to protect, you got to provide, you got to lead with courage.
Yeah.
Men should be doing that.
Yep.
Whether that's in your family, if it's your family, it's just your wife, or if it's your wife and kids,
Yeah.
or if it's
Yeah. They
You're
need to see
single,
you. They need to see
right.
you as the warrior and as the leader.
standing
That's
firm in your faith.
Yep.
You should have some wisdom,
Right.
right? You should love them. You should be sacrificing for them,
Yep.
right? Warriors are sacrificial. And I think what's important for us to look at in this topic is a warrior doesn't wait for the battle before he gets ready, right?
Yeah.
He is getting ready
Yeah, he's
before
always
the battle
preparing.
happens. So to the young man who's doesn't have a family yet,
Right.
Who's maybe 18 and straight out of high school
Yeah.
and
Dating
not sure
or
what dating
getting
or whatever,
married
right?
Or getting serious.
He needs to be preparing for that family he will lead.
Yep. Exactly.
So watching his purity,
Yep.
making sure he's not looking at things he shouldn't,
Right.
making sure he's working hard, developing a work ethic, developing this mindset of I'm going to protect, I'm going
Right.
to provide, I'm going to lead with courage. It doesn't happen when the battle hits,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe like you said earlier, maybe coming up with his own mission statement.
Yeah,
Trying to figure out who he is and where he's going and what he wants to be in life.
Right.
And then hopefully that'll help him to find a partner to be able to move forward into that direction.
yep.
So,
And I think what we need to see as men is that a warrior is not about control,
right.
right? So as men, I think a lot of times our bent is more
Yeah,
like,
we
hey,
try and control everything.
we want to control everything,
Right.
where a warrior is more about that courage that you have, showing humility, showing love.
Yep. Yeah,
and-
things might not always go right, but it's how you act when
Yeah.
things go wrong that really kind of defines who you are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when the things aren't going right,
Yep.
how do you respond? When you can't control everything,
right.
are you still fighting?
Yeah.
Not worried about your ego, but worried about your family.
Yeah.
Because when things go wrong, it's easy for us to take it personal.
Absolutely.
Like, it's
What did
falling
I do?
apart. What I do?
Yeah.
Look for someone else to blame instead of being a warrior who, when things go wrong, hey, I'm going to start fighting for my family or continue, right, fighting for my family and not worry about what people think of me.
Yep, exactly.
Because this is what I'm called to do: is
Yep.
protect,
Yeah,
lead.
I have a vision, I have a goal, I have an end result, and I'm going to
Yeah.
get there. And that's not based on what other people think about it.
Right. Right. So a couple things would be, one, I think when we think of this warrior and protecting, we naturally go to the physical aspect,
Yeah.
right? Like, will you protect your family physically?
Yeah.
Probably.
And I'm sure you will.
Yeah,
But
right.
we also need to think about the emotional aspect and, how you act and how they see you act. And,
Yeah.
are you the guy that flies off the handle when things go wrong, or are you the guy that stays calm, cool, and collected and,
Yeah.
can kind of just persevere
Yeah.
and push through?
Let's talk about the emotional aspect of that and then
Yeah.
maybe jump into the spiritual aspect.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit the physical aspect at the end, but
Sure.
definitely that emotional aspect I think
Yep.
is important. When you think about it, that like an emotionally secure home just doesn't happen.
Right.
You have to be intentional for that to take place. And I think it
Absolutely.
takes husbands and fathers to set the tone there.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think it takes a responsible husband and father
Yeah.
to set the tone. I've seen plenty of people that fly off the handle that just, they say what first thing that comes to mind, and they don't really necessarily think before they speak or before they act. And I've seen the opposite side of that. I've seen the people that, really do control what they say and control how things go. And it's a totally different vibe that they put off.
Yeah. But I think that secure environment in a home, like that is so important.
Right.
And a lot of times it's missed. And from the outside, you don't even know that families are missing it sometimes because
Yep.
you can maybe try to fake it.
Right.
But at home, the wife's miserable, all the kids are miserable.
Oh, yeah.
The dad's miserable.
Yeah, you see it.
And there's no emotional security there. And I think it's something the father needs to set the tone on, the husband needs to set the tone on to intentionally build that.
Yeah.
And part of that's like, hey, when a mistake's made in the house, do you meet that mistake with grace?
Right.
Or do you meet that mistake with like what you said, like flying off the handle?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
condemnation
Yep.
right away.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I don't know. Like I said, I've seen people do it both ways, and I've even worked for people that do it both ways. And it's like the people that rule with an iron fist, there's always a tiptoeing around them or almost walking on eggshells around them. And the other people that, can accept mistakes and things with grace.
Yeah.
It's just a totally different environment, and it's okay. You find that it's okay when you mess up, or you find
Yeah.
that it's okay as long as we learn from it the first time. Don't continue to mess up. It's okay if you make a mistake. Just
Yeah.
don't continue making that same mistake. That becomes a habit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So really what we're saying is like, if you're going to have that warrior mindset to
Yep.
protect your family, are you protecting them emotionally?
right.
Like that should be a piece.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
and how are you doing it? Are you doing it with grace?
Yeah.
Or does everybody tiptoe around you, when times are tough?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and it's not enough like for your family, like they may know that you love them, but they need to feel that
Yeah,
as
exactly.
well, right? They need to experience that. They
Yep.
need to see that hey, dad really loves and cares and listens to
right.
me.
Well, it's like I even see it with you, like in your kids and wife, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, you have 3 teenage girls,
I do. Yeah.
and that's like, but even when you see one of them make a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's. I mean, I don't know, but there seems to be some. They seem to be more at ease when they make a mistake, just by the way that you handle everything in life. You're not one to fly off the handle. You're not one to, completely freak out. Or if you do,
Yeah.
you do it behind closed doors when, and nobody can see you. But,
Yeah.
I think you handle things with grace, and it's like, okay, this happened or that happened, you messed up or we messed up, but how do
Yeah.
we move forward from it?
Yeah, I think what's hard about this is like it's easy to say it, but it's a sacrificial mindset that a man has to have if you're going to have an emotionally safe home.
Yeah.
And some of it comes down to some small
No,
things.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. It's sacrificial mindset.
It is. And
It's not about you and what
it's
you're
not.
feeling.
And what are you willing to sacrifice? So some of that's some time,
Yeah.
right? Like if you have teenage daughters and you come home at night after work,
Yep.
you're going to have to sacrifice maybe your time. I don't know, whatever you like to do.
Yeah, whatever
right?
you might not get to do what you
You
want
may
to
not
do.
get it right, so you need to set and maybe go get ice cream with them,
Right.
even though it may not be your preferred thing, and listen to them talk about their day.
Yeah.
But really, what you're doing in that's that warrior spirit is creating an emotionally safe environment for
Exactly.
them.
Yep.
And so with your wife, when your kids go to bed, if they're younger, and you're tired and you're ready to go to bed, or you want to go play PlayStation or
Yeah.
watch the newest movie that
Right.
came out.
Are you sacrificing for your wife and giving her the time
Yeah.
that she needs?
Yeah, and listening and giving your full attention,
Exactly.
and putting the phone down.
Right.
Because warriors sacrifice.
Yep.
And so sometimes, like it goes back, we always think it's physical.
Right.
Yeah, I would fight for my family, right? Like
Right.
if someone
Oh, yeah.
showed up, I'm going to fight them.
Right.
Part of it's, I like to
I want
fight
to be
too
strong.
much anyways.
I want to be strong for my
I want
wife.
to be strong,
and
right?
I want to show that off to her, and
Yeah,
but that's not what it's all about.
yeah.
There's other aspects of it.
But then it comes down to a man leading and creating that emotionally safe environment. And
Yep.
so many times I think we think the lady should be doing that, but I think it falls on the man
Absolutely.
to do that.
Yeah.
To
Well, and the men
sacrifice.
are called to lead the household. It's not the woman's job to lead the household.
Yeah,
So with that, the man has to set the tone for how that's going to go.
yeah,
And I'm not saying it's not, it's not like the man's the ruler of the family, but at the same time, the man is the leader of the family,
yeah.
and he should be leading his family properly.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the measure of that man, of all men, is how much they're willing to sacrifice
Yeah.
for their families.
Right.
Right. That's really what it comes down to. And we
Yep.
can extend this out to create emotional,
Right.
safe places as
But
your
I mean, it's
friend
funny.
group
You,
and
you
stuff,
look at
but-
you look at people that are almost doing it right, and you see men that either don't have hobbies or their hobbies are very limited in the time that they can
Yeah.
spend doing them, and they're not spending a whole lot of time on social media or scrolling or reels or
Mm-hmm.
they're more focused on their family and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
On what their kids are doing, what their wife's doing, how that's affecting them, how their lives are going, and
Yeah.
it's funny just to watch the two different types of people, and you can tell
Yeah.
who they are and what they're sacrificing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And with that, like for a warrior, I think the two most precious things are time and energy.
Yeah,
Because money, I can go out and get more money.
right. Yeah, that's
I mean,
easy.
we live in a great country.
Right.
That if I need more money,
Yep, I can go
make
get it.
I can make some money.
Exactly.
I can't get my energy back, and
Right.
I can't get my time back.
Yep. And how are you spending those two things?
And those are two things I have to sacrifice for my family
Yep.
that they can't get from anywhere else
Absolutely.
if they're going to feel emotionally safe.
Yep.
And so for the good of those that you love in this busy world, whereas men, I mean, you would know this, like as your job and a podcast and everything else pulling you
Yeah.
to places, that time and energy is valuable.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I need to sacrifice for my
Yep.
family.
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
Which is tough to do that. 'Cause so many times we want to spend that on our own.
Well, we've talked about
We're
it before,
selfish.
but it kind of comes back to pride. And,
Yeah.
What are you prideful about? And is it your family, or is it the things in life that that you need to be spending your time on?
Yeah.
And,
Well,
or-
pride.
or- I just said the same thing, didn't I?
Yeah, that's all right. You said it better.
I-
But pride leads to the next thing, kind of in creating an emotionally safe environment, is that you have to be willing to sacrifice your ego as well.
Yeah.
Which means if I'm going to create an emotionally safe environment for my family, I'm going to mess up, and so
Oh, yeah.
I've got to be willing to go to my family and say, "Hey, I messed up.
Right.
I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Right, and ask for forgiveness.
Yep.
Where that creates an environment where, in the house, if Dad apologizes and asks for forgiveness,
Yep.
hey, this must be the way forward.
Exactly. Yep. Well, I think it kind of goes back to that whole, the people that lead with an iron fist, they're not the people to ever apologize or admit wrongdoing or, say, I'm sorry and
Yeah.
can you forgive me? And I think it just creates a stigma there, almost just a feeling in that household that,
Yeah.
that's not the person I want to go to, when things go sideways.
Right.
That's the person I want to avoid the most.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're pointing into the gospel when you do this, right?
Right.
When I say, hey, man, I should have not have said that, or I should have not have missed that event.
Yeah.
I messed up here. Will you forgive me? And you're pointing them to your heavenly Father, who's
Right.
perfect and who sacrificed for us,
Yep.
and showing that I am far from perfect,
Exactly.
but I know the one who is.
Yeah.
Right. And so kind of pointing them
Yep.
there, and then part of that, like, it goes on to, like, so what you should be doing is putting their needs above your needs.
Yeah.
Which, when you look at the gospel, Christ came down, lived a perfect life for us.
Definitely put our needs above his.
Right. Sacrificed his own body for us.
Yep.
And then in the New Testament, we see how our husband's supposed to love their wives, like Christ loved the church,
Right.
giving himself for it, sacrificing himself for it. So that's our task, or what we're called to, is to sacrifice. That way, where we give up our bodies,
Right.
our time,
our
energy,
right.
our hobbies,
Yeah.
maybe at times, right?
Yeah, at times.
To sacrifice, to do the hard things for
Yeah.
our family.
Yeah. It should be selfless for them.
But you think about it as a dad or a husband, like, no one's watching you or applauding you when you do it. Like, when you do a good job at work,
Right.
hopefully your boss maybe gives you a big year-end bonus, or
Yeah, hopefully.
sends you a nice email telling you did a great job,
Right.
or says something in front of your coworkers, man, this guy's doing a great job.
Yep.
In your family, you may never hear that.
Right.
Like, you may sacrifice one night and stay up till midnight because one of your daughters wants to talk till midnight, and you're
Yeah.
going to be tired the next morning at work.
Yep.
No one cares. No one knows.
Exactly.
But you just sacrifice for
Yep.
them. And no one needs to know.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
your daughter knows.
Your daughter knows.
She's the one that's going to remember
Yeah.
that when I needed him the most, he was there.
So when you get up early and help your wife with breakfast to get the kids out the door,
Right.
when you clean the house or clean the toilets because your wife's had a busy week and hates doing that,
Yeah.
when you go get gas in her car,
Right.
whatever it may be, when you volunteer just to do something without being asked,
Right.
those things I think are creating that, of putting their needs
Absolutely. Yeah,
above
they
yours.
create the environment at your house or in your home that you want, and that your family ultimately wants
Yeah.
to.
And I think that's ultimately, like, when I think of a warrior, right? So in the Army, I remember when I first went in, they were calling everyone young warriors or
Yeah.
warriors. I was like, I know some of these guys.
Yeah. that was your selling point. Yes, I'm a young warrior.
I'm a warrior. But really what it came down to, the mindset then was like sacrifice, right? So I came in right after 9/11. So everyone's like ready to go fight
Oh
someone,
yeah,
right?
yeah. They're just ready to kill somebody.
and ready to
Somebody that wronged them.
sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
So ready to sacrifice for
Yep.
it. And that's what a warrior does, is sacrifice. And so I think as husbands and fathers, and it's just men in general, like, even if you're not a husband and father, like,
Right.
we are called to live this way.
Yep, I
like,
agree.
sacrificially,
Yep.
As men. And that's
It's
what we
funny.
see through
It's
scripture.
It's one of the things you don't figure out day one of being married, that we're going to be sacrificial.
Yeah.
It's not taught. It's not shared quite often.
Yeah.
Premarital counseling didn't tell me I was going to sacrifice much.
Right.
But it's one of the things when you find out and you start to get good at it,
Yeah.
and you start to sacrifice for your spouse and for your kids and your family.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good about it too. Look what I've been able to do to help them,
Yeah.
to better them.
And I think leads to a good legacy.
Absolutely.
Like, what legacy do you want to leave, as a father, a husband, a man, is like, not necessarily what I achieve, but how did I lead my family,
Yeah.
and what are my children and my children's children doing?
Well, exactly. And how are they applying the things that
Yeah.
I tried to live and teach them? And are they living it out in their
Yeah.
lives? Or are they the iron fist people? Are they the people
Right.
that won't sacrifice, that won't get out of their own way, that have pride? And, how are they going to lead their families in the future?
Yeah. Yeah. So a couple of questions, kind of, I think, if you're listening, to maybe ask yourself, to
Yeah.
engage. One would be like, how are you currently leading your family?
Yep.
Like, are you leading like a warrior, sacrificing? And then the big thing that we focus on today, I didn't even plan on focusing on that much, but like, it's how are you leading your family to feel emotionally safe?
Right.
Or what's the emotional environment look like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
your
How's the
household?
stability in your family?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
And that's just something I think to really keep in mind is how's your wife's behavior? How's your kids' behavior? When things go sideways, how does everybody act and do it? Or, is everybody flying off the handle and going
Right,
nuts? And
right.
is this something that you've created?
Yeah.
Is this,
Probably.
yeah, it most likely is.
You're setting the tone.
Yep. And it's like, anytime you have an argument with your wife, are you guys able to work that out? Or are you going and finding 10 other people to get on your side because you were right?
Yeah.
And I just think about people that you see doing this and know people that do this that just kind of lead their family the wrong
Yeah.
way. And it seems like they're always in the same struggle, the same battle,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing ever really improves on their end. And
Yeah. Yeah, I'd encourage you to ask some friends around you how you're doing.
yeah,
And if you're married, ask your wife.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's,
How
maybe
can I
dangerous.
improve?
Maybe ask your friends first. So. This has been a good episode.
Just give your wife a notepad. How can I improve?
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I just, think about the way that you're leading your family and your life. And I bet it also reflects into your work and your daily life
Yeah.
and your friends. And, I bet it kind of goes full circle if you're doing it wrong. And if you're doing it right, I'm sure it still reflects there too.
Yeah, because you want your friends to feel like safe around you and
Yeah.
creating that environment,
Right.
right? Like they trust you, they know you're going to come through, you're going to put their needs above your needs,
Right.
All these things.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So,
I mean, there's some people like I just enjoy being around because I feel safe, like
right.
in the sense that I can open up.
Yeah.
I know they're going to
Some
help.
people I enjoy being around because I feel really smart.
Yeah, yeah. I need some more friends like that.
All right. Now it's been good.
It's been good.
Yep.
All right, so next week we're going to look at Face Your Fears.
Yeah. Okay. Don't forget about April 25th.
Yeah,
For
check
the-
us out, toughmenoffaith.org.
Yep.
Get
Get
signed
signed
up
up.
for
Be a reasonably costed event.
Yep.
And then be dinner and be making a mission statement.
Yeah, and I think this episode comes out right before New Year's,
Yeah.
so set some goals.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right, see you guys.